want no chance interactions whatsoever at that point if it was me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna block you too.
Ooh, okay. Let them know. Stand your ground. Because if you don't stand for something,
you gonna fall for everything, baby.
All right. Sean, how about for you? And good evening, Hank. How are you?
What's good, bro?
What up, brother Hank?
Thanks for being here.
What's up, though, Hank?
How y'all doing, good black people?
We're doing well.
Good.
Man, that's just a sorry start. They both lying.
Yeah, for both of them.
Where do I go next? I don't know. Well, I lie, you lie. I mean, why are we lying? I have this. We say this all every week. They both lie. I don't know what start they start with. I don't know what's next. What's next is some bull crap. What's next is a horrible relationship. What's next is the start of nothing.
Okay.
Damn.
Hank, how about for you? Did you see the first part of the show? The interaction? Oh, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
I guess I just seen the replay of the skit. So yeah, that will that will probably be a problem for me. Yeah, definitely that. So, but damn, I mean, looking at the side differently, I don't know what the hell he was thinking about. She looked like she was a 6'3", he was a 5'11". God damn, it was bad.
God.
Yeah, I don't think I could have did it. Shout out to R. Payne for saying he'll laugh and have a good time and stay there, and I probably would have got up through. Yeah, that's bad.
He came with flowers and everything.
Yeah,
he was ready.
You got the fresh cut,
edge up, and everything.
Let me tell you, man, this shit would be funny as hell. I'd be taking this story everywhere, man. Laughing about, it don't matter whether we hook up, but I can't. The humor in it would be just too much for me. I'd get a nice belly laugh out of it, and I can guarantee you she'd laugh too. She'd
not
be
with them hands
disappointed in
folded
me.
like that.
Huh?
I said, not with them hands folded like that.
No.
Yeah,
She would unclench those hands after I laugh at her, because I would tell her why I'm laughing. Listen, man. One of my superpowers is I make women laugh.
Oh, Payne got the magic.
That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing.
I didn't say whether they were laughing with me or I make them like.
Nah, it's like I said, like, man, I'd have been like, we both liars, huh? That's what I'd have been like. Like, we both some goddamn liars, huh? You hungry?
Lunch.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like, you hungry? You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, I don't judge people like that. If I'm fucking up, I can't be like, ooh, you can't fuck up. That's stupid to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of y'all came in line. Yeah, I ain't 6'3". Yeah, you ain't 125. What's happening? You know what I'm saying? But if that proceeds on to just being an ugly person in general, nah, at that point we gonna go crazy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, honey, wait a double cheeseburger on me. With everything on it. You know what I'm saying?
You can even get an extra sauce.
Get us some nuggets. Get us some chicken nuggets.
I mean,
that milkshake.
The point that y'all making is true. At that point, let's make the best of it. Let's make light of it.
Like,
enjoy it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't just literally just go back to your car and just go home unless you just straight up said it.
I got
But if both of y'all are not what you said on the site, it's like, all right, well, here now. Like, I don't know. Unless,
it depends on her attitude.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because the way her arms are folded, if we can't unfold them arms, I gotta go. But if we can unfold them arms, maybe I could tickle her. So I don't know, but we got to get it. We got to keep it going. We already done both.
Right. It's like I said.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be like, we both some liars, and if she ain't laughing at it the way I'm laughing at it, then you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Because you never know, you might be able to meet a cool friend. Like you might be able to meet somebody that's
I ain't no dating sites for friends.
Got enough friends. Got enough friends.
Okay.
Press tried to slide that in there real quick.
I'm just saying. Like,
no new friends, Precious. No new friends. No new friends.
I'm just saying. You could be connected to something, and you're like, oh, you're
Man,
useful.
nah. After
Nah.
last week, I don't need no more friends forever, never,
Oh
ever
my
again.
god.
I think
Well-
100% of the guys on here saying we ain't on dating sites to find friends.
Mm-mm.
Those of us who,
But
That's
are
what
you
I'm
really
saying.
on? Are you really on there to find someone serious though? Because the thing
think
about
it's-
dating sites nowadays, a lot of women think that men aren't serious on the dating sites. Are there certain sites where men are more serious than others? I don't know. I
No,
don't
they
really
need
know.
she ain't serious either. That's why you on there.
the whole
Mm.
dating marketplace has changed. Websites like Seeking Arrangements are for ladies who are looking for a sugar daddy, or that's how it's touted. But even now,
God damn.
Seeking Arrangements is more turned into the average Bumble or Tinder, where women are on there also trying to find something, long term. So
They not
dating
trying to
sites in
find that.
general just
The lies
jacked
they
the
tell,
whole
man. Everybody know Tinder is a hookup app, bro.
It's so is Bumble, so is
That's
Hinge.
so what's like I'm saying, why we riding this line using it like it's the truth? No, it's a hookup site. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. Like that's what I'm saying. If you are on any social media dating, you don't really want to mate. You want to date.
Mm-hmm.
You want to date.
Mm.
You're not out here trying to meet somebody for the long term. When the last time you heard somebody that met on Tinder get married? I ain't talking about no ad on TV or some shit you heard on Instagram. When the last time you heard somebody that hooked up with somebody from Tinder and they got married?
Exactly.
I actually, my friend.
Mhm.
Okay, I do have a friend, Jessica. Her and her now husband met on Hinge, I believe it was, and they're married. They're on her second child with him. So it does happen.
Yeah.
But I think that it doesn't happen in the numbers that people, think that they're gonna have, because they're really not going into it for the long haul. All right, so we're gonna go into this next post that I saw, and I wanted to get the guys, since I have the men's panel on Mondays, I wanted to get you guys' perspective. I feel like I already know what you're gonna say, but we're gonna go there. All right, it says, if a man and a woman are dating and spending a lot of time together but not having sex, does she have the right to be upset he has sexual relationships with another woman?
Are they exclusive?
It just says that they're dating and spending a lot of time together.
If we not exclusive, no.
If they haven't come to the understanding, it's open season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you ain't talked about, hey, I'm just with you. This is what I'm heading towards a goal of being with you, sex or not. It doesn't. No, the understanding is no.
Okay. Now, before anybody else goes, a lot of men will say that, well, you'll have women who say that, hey, look, I need you to tell me what's up. I need you to let me know if we're exclusive or not. And then you have men that say, well, why do I have to tell you? All the things that we're doing shows you or proves to you that I want to be exclusive to you. I always say that a man should tell you. I
Negative
don't think you
Ghost
should
Rider.
assume anything.
Yeah.
Negative Ghost Rider. That you're not in a relationship until that man says so.
Right.
Like I said, is why women be in situationships and keep asking the man, "What are we doing here? What is this? What are we in that?" Because that man has to claim that woman at the end of the day. You my girl. Until that happens, it's open season.
Mhm.
Yep, and that also definitely goes both ways.
Mhm.
It goes both ways. So unless it's established, like we've said, I agree 100%. A man's going to establish what it is and what it ain't. But if it ain't, it goes both ways. I can't be mad at her. She's still out here, getting some strays. I can't.
That's a fact. I would agree with the fellas, and I think that's why it's termed so loosely when it comes to the ladies. It's a situationship. We was talking, we seeing each other, all of these different things. It's not the relationship that we solidify, that we lay down concrete in a straight line, and I think that's the difference.
Until I claim you by yourself, you somebody else's, you open. I don't know. No dudes that tell you that, oh, it can't be. They just want to be able to move around how they want to move around. That's simply what it is.
Sean, where are you gonna go? Because I think
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, and unfortunately, I've been guilty of it. I've been guilty of not giving a direct definition of the relationship, and it turned out disastrous. Simply because I was allowed to on one point, but I can't put no blame on them. I allowed it. Let's say that. I allowed it. I didn't want the responsibility of the title. I wanted I say it all the time, we want the authority, but we don't want the responsibility. That came from how I was acting in the past. And often I like the authority. I like, the bells and whistles, but then when it came down to having to put in that commitment or identify and give that honor that she so rightfully deserves, I sometimes fell short. So I had to learn from that.
I appreciate that because not a lot of men will say, hey, I did it because she allowed me to do it. Like, she allowed it, so I just kept doing it. I didn't have to put a stamp of approval on it. I didn't have to really say what it was, because as long as I didn't, or as long as I was still spending time, then that sufficed. But you do have a lot of men who will, like I said, just be like, oh, well, isn't what I'm showing you enough? And it's like, who raised you? Like, when you want something, don't you go after it? Like, I don't, what are the assumptions for?
Renting a house
What are we assuming?
Renting a house ain't the same as buying it.
Right.
And I'm a long time renter. So
it ain't the same as buying it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I joke about it, but yeah, but I joke about it, but I the position that I take nowadays in having conversations, speaking to my friends and as well as my man, I understand that there's a lot more responsibility necessary. And although somebody, here's a saying that I came up with: you deserve more than you desire. And I really had to embrace that, because a lot of times what they desire and what we desire, we deserve a lot more, but we just settle for what we desire. We enjoy what we desire because it's easier.
Okay. Interesting take. I think I've heard you say that before. All right. Anybody else want to go on this?
I don't get a chance to go on that one.
Yeah, good.
Listen, you guys got to give me a second on this one, right? First, is this woman a virgin or not? Because if she's not a virgin, all I know is that while she's making me wait, somebody was busting those cheeks. Now, is she still busting those cheeks because I'm the guy she likes? Is she asking me to pay more than the maintenance man who's coming in to rub one off for her? Well, I'm paying for the dates, I'm paying for this and that. Now, I tell women this all the time, that this whole 90-day rule bullshit where you're trying to get a man that you like to show that he thinks you're worth more than what you are before you have sex with him, while everybody else got the chicken dinners for free, he's going to end up resenting you. And the only reason why he's going to be around is to put another notch in his belt. Because every single woman, and I can't speak for you, Precious, and I don't want to do that. I'll speak for my wife and a lot of women. The very first thing you need to do is get a man to post-nut clarity. And if he's still there in the morning, you got something. You got something.
What if he ain't got nowhere to go?
No. Let's just talk about the guy who has some place to go, especially if he has a place to go,
Damn.
Ricky.
Laying down
Because
that
each
hobo
one of
pipe.
us on this panel, whether we want to agree or not, if we're still with the woman that she finally gave us some, there was something more about her than just her sex. That's what I'm saying. So if your chick is stringing you along, you're not boo-boo the fool. Those days
Right.
you can't reach her, those days that you can't see where she's at, you're gonna be thinking, if somebody else busting those cheeks, why I can't find her. So I tell women, it doesn't matter whether it's the second day, third day. I'm not advocating one night stands. You got to get the man that you're interested in over that hill of post-nut clarity, because it's got to come one way or the other.
Right.
And so I don't know what the time frame is for that, but every woman who's with a guy knows if she wants to stroke him or not from day one. And they can sit down here and give me some bullshit. As soon as a woman sees you, she said, you might be a candidate, get a little bit of this cookie and shit. And so I realized that. So if she's making me pay for shit and I'm hanging around, she said, you gotta wait. Now, wait a minute. What's going down? Because if you want me to be chased, I gotta have guarantees that somebody, maintenance man, ain't coming there busting those goddamn cheeks while I'm sitting out here being boo-boo the fool. So
Jesus Christ.
And so if you can do that, then we're cool a little bit. But if you're not a virgin, it's going to be hard as hell for you to convince me that you're making me wait 90 days and I can't get no ass. Well, I don't know where you at every minute of the day. Let me just land it there. So,
every time you say somebody,
have mercy.
Yeah, every time you say somebody busting them, you just have me cracking up. Somebody busting them cheeks. Somebody.
You gotta make that a sound bite.
So I mean, that's just my theory.
Good, Trey.
What's going on with y'all?
Hey, what's up, Trey? What's going on, man?
Trey, what's popping?
It just don't sound right coming out of a baby boomer mouth. It just
man,
just don't sound.
Proud goddamn baby boomer, right up there, man. I know every goddamn
We were
thing.
just talking about that too before we got on. We were just talking about that.
I'll tell you, said clap the shit out them cheeks.
I'm gonna push back on our pain though, because
okay, go ahead.
Me personally, I believe you can't dictate to a woman what when she want to start respecting her body.
No, I agree.
You can't dictate that. Now to tag your point, yeah. I got to know, you know what I'm saying? You got to be demonstrating to me as a man that you with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't have to check up on you. I shouldn't have to be looking for where you at and all that other shit, right? But again, I honestly believe that a woman, she can present a different value to a man, right? I don't care what nobody say. You doing my books, you cooking dinner, you know what I'm saying? You cleaning the house, coming over, doing my laundry, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To let me know, hey, I'm really trying to get at you. I'm trying to chase you, da. And I know women hate hearing that word come out a man's mouth that she should be chasing you. But yes, if you're a man about your business, she should be.
Okay.
I agree. My items might be different than yours, Ricky, but I agree exactly with my wife. I can only do anecdotal. She was on me every single day, and she had a curfew, and she had to go home every night.
Right.
So I had a feeling where she was all the time, even if I wasn't checking.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. The understanding as we as men we have to have. Right. Again, stop playing stupid like you don't know what the game is. You see what I'm saying? When you was in grammar school, you know the little girl who liked you for real. You know what I'm saying? She bought you milk every day. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Ricky, you want some of my lemon heads? You know what I'm saying? Like it's no different, right? It's just on the grown scale. So again, if you got this woman, just like you said, why would I even give her time if she ain't showing me the just causes for me to wait for her?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
Rick, you made a valid point. But it's really identifying whether she's respecting herself versus whether she's playing a game to try and get you.
Facts. But the
But
truth
the
is,
only
the
pushback,
truth,
Ricky, only pushback I'll give you, Ricky, is how many men of your day, my day, and any day have that level of discernment to know the difference.
see, but that's what I'm saying. So stop blaming the chick for being a chick then.
I'm not.
I'm not talking to you directly. I'm talking to the subject matter at hand.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. Stop faking like you got the understanding when you really don't, if that's the case. As a man, you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Stop faking like you know, oh, she did exactly like what y'all said. When it comes to courting, and I'm picking this woman as my mate, that's the part I control. Right? They control sex, I control the relationship. So anything I see shaky that don't line up to what I'm needing to put you in a relationship, I'm not gonna blame her because I need to be smart enough to recognize that shit.
No argument. No argument.
I would agree with
Absolutely.
that. Anybody else want to add to this before we
Yeah, well,
go
let the
on?
baby boomer hater Trey speak. You know?
I don't hate on you, man. My mama a baby boomer, bro. It's just, look,
Chill out, Trey.
Here's the thing.
Chill out.
The word exclusive always makes me laugh. I don't think it's a real thing, and you certainly aren't exclusive if you ain't having sex. How are we exclusively doing anything? We ain't even having sex. And I do agree with the baby boomer. If we ain't having sex, who she having sex with? She having sex with somebody. It just ain't me. There's a philosopher that says that if it floats, flies, or fornicates, rent it. Until I decide to make it mine, ownership, until she's mine, we're married or whatever the case, however you want to have that conversation, she's free to do whatever she want to do. As am I. I'm free to do whatever I want to do. It isn't until you have that actual legit serious conversation about where this thing is actually really going, right? And if that direction is not towards something serious, i.e. marriage or serious relationship or something along that lines, people are free to do whatever they want to do. As a lot of guys will tell you, for a lot of these women out here, it's just your turn. Enjoy your turn. Have fun.
So you're saying that exclusivity is not reached until you have sex?
Absolutely. You can't have one without the other.
What do you guys think?
I don't really agree with that. I mean, exclusivity is what you choose it to be. If you have the intentions, for example, to be with somebody and that's what you want to make them your wife, you've already determined the exclusivity that you want. Now, whether or not they agree to it or they want to embrace it, time would determine that. But I said, if you just want the panties and have fun, you know that. If you want to have a relationship, you know that. And it's up to you to determine and lead that way. You know, I always tell women it could take a day or even a whole year. He still got to, so he really don't care. It's not about if that's what he wanted, that's what he wanted. Now, if it transitions into something different, he still wanted that. That was his main goal, and vice versa. I tell women, I say, yo, as soon as you say he could get it in your mind, we recognize that. And we know we got it at that point. It's the formality from that point on. Yeah, as soon as you give that bat of the eye or that confirmation or that conversation, we already know we in there. It's just about the process at that point.
It's a matter of when.
Sean, can I add something though, Sean, where you're 90% there. But you know how many guys talk their way out of some trim? Because if she sits down here and she chooses you, if you keep opening your mouth, there's men who talk their way out of trim all the time. You got to know when to shut up.
I agree.
You know, but that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. The only thing I would have back with Rick is this. We say that men control relationship to a point. But I'd like to be more refined than that. We are the gatekeepers to marriage. To marriage. All the relationship, we can go back and forth, and the hyenas can say all they want and all that shit. But unless we open the gate to marriage, their asses ain't getting in. And that's where the accountability comes from. Who you let through. And we're going to have so many examples of men letting the wrong women through that goddamn gate, and they're paying the price. That gate is ours. We need to guard that shit like it's a holy grail. Because And this whole partnership bullshit everybody talks about, only women say that. And the men who say that don't know what the hell they're talking about. My wife is not my partner. She's my wife. And I put more into her than she could ever put into me. Because my obligation far outsees hers. And every man's obligation to their woman, that's their wife, far outsees what she can give. Not only in life, but it's our obligation to take care of them in death and the family. So let me just drop it there. So I don't want to go derail this whole thing, but that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Hey, Precious, when do you actually own when do you actually own a home? Do you own a home when you walking through the house, you're doing your due diligence? Do you own the home when the inspector comes and does their due diligence? Do you own the home when you sign the papers? Do you own the home when you get the keys? Or do you own the home when you have the deed? When do you own the home?
When you have the deed. So
up until then, anything could happen.
Somebody could buy the house from up under you. Shit.
Come on, Uncle. Come on.
Good evening, D-Town Conversation. Thank you so much for joining. How are you?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you for joining. It seems as though you have something to say since you wanted the link to be dropped.
Yeah. And he know why I'm here. He know why I'm here, baby. So I don't want to derail the show because y'all have a good show today. But I just wanted to say, how about them Cowboys? Okay, that's all I want to say is how about them Cowboys? And Hank, I will see you when you drop the link.
You got that. You got
Thank you, OG.
Okay, you got to drop it now. You got to drop his name. He said what he said.
You got that. I'm a good sport. I'm a good sport. So you got that. You know, I honestly didn't even stay awake to see the Eagles get beat like that, man. I woke up like, dang. Sheesh.
Hey, but Precious.
All right. Yes.
How you an Eagles fan over here and looking like a whole Pittsburgh Steeler right now?
You know what?
Same state, right, Precious? Same state, right?
My bad.
All right, so we're gonna go on to this next video now, y'all. I know this is I already know where I'm at and who I have amongst the panel, but I want to get you guys' perspective on this video because you do have men out here who push this message, and I want you guys to keep it real on the Real Precious. So we're gonna put this up here.
As much as I didn't want to believe this, I'm starting to really believe that these new generation of men, they hate women. And the reason why I'm saying this, man, is because these women have sacrificed so much and they've compromised so much to the point where they're saying you don't even have to have money. You don't even have to personally be their type as far as looks. All they want you to do is be able to provide the things that are free: honesty, loyalty, respect, time, affection, attentiveness. Like, they want all of the things that are free, and y'all can't even give that to them. Are you serious? They put everything aside. Women are out here even marrying men. They are proposing to men. And y'all can't even give them the things that are free, a listening ear. Y'all don't even make them feel protected. Y'all don't make them feel safe. Y'all can't even make them feel appreciated. Do you know that appreciation is free? Do you know that support is free? Do you know that loyalty is free? Do you know that respect is free? Do you know that making them feel desirable is free? Y'all can't even do the things that are free? Do you even like women? Do you even love women? Do you really want to marry women? Like, I hate to say it. Like, I take up for us often, man, but it's scary. Do y'all actually hate women?
Okay, so this video was pretty recent. And so it's not one of the videos from long ago. I believe he just posted this video not too long ago. So what do you guys think about that video? Because he's talking about the free things. Like, you don't want to do the free things. And so my question to you guys would be, why wouldn't a man want to do the free things? Because there has to be a reason.
Who going first?
I started out, man. I
Yeah,
started
y'all
out.
can have it.
That's how I felt.
Y'all ain't gonna like
Man.
when I
It's
go.
too
Y'all,
easy.
they not gonna like when I
Yeah,
go.
you might
I'm
not.
just being
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Jesus
One,
Christ.
do we hate women? No. Do we hate what they're doing at times? Absolutely.
Mm.
The free stuff. The funny thing is that the easiest way to get is by saying some of the things that are free. It's not about the it's about being genuine. A lot of people can say and make a woman feel happy. That's the one thing that I tell a lot of my people now. Making you happy is easy. All we gotta do is tell you what you want to hear. Now, are we genuine? Are we being genuine in that? Absolutely not. And that's what the problem is. We can't even define or distinguish genuineness from lack thereof. So, do we lack on giving? Yeah, sometimes we give all of those things, but the whole thing is it's not even appreciated or valued. If we tell you the truth and it's not said the way that you want it, often it's not received and it's not appreciated or valued. So you really don't want that. What you want is to be told what you I want what I want when I want how I want it. And that's the unfortunate reality that we're dealing with. And that's what I don't want to say hate, but that's what I personally don't like about some of this age women is that they really would prefer somebody to just make them feel good than um help them become better as they're supposed to help us become better.
Mm.
Let
Okay.
me go
Go
real
Trey.
quick before Uncle Rick go. When I see videos like this, I just immediately know that when he stops a video, he goes to himself, "Yeah, this gonna give me a lot of box right here. This video gonna give." I just know these guys are saying that to themselves because there's no way he believes the crap, the nonsense that just came out of his mouth. A guy like me, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. All I can offer you is the free stuff. That's all I'm offering is the free stuff. That's all I'm giving you. But the issue is that the women don't want the free stuff. They don't want it. The issue is that the women want to talk to me about how much money do I make? What possessions do I have? What assets do I have? That's what they want to talk about. How can I provide for them? I have had a woman ask to see my bank account on a first date. That was the last time we had a conversation. So
Wow.
it isn't about whether or not we're giving the free things. I lead with that. I try to come up with dates that cost no money, that give us an opportunity to sit there and actually have to talk to each other and get to know each other. I bought the little pack of cards, them little pack of cards, the little deal breaker, conversation cards. You know what I mean? You can. I bought those,
Yeah.
so we actually have things
Icebreaker
to
joint.
talk about to get to know each other. They don't want to do that. You know what she want to talk about? Do you know what she want to talk about? She want to talk about my stock portfolio. She wants to talk about when's the last time I flipped a house. That's what she want to talk about. She wants to talk about money. She wants to talk about whether or not I would be okay with giving her an allowance. That's what they want to talk about. So I don't agree with this, and I'm wondering how out of touch he actually is with dating in today's atmosphere with the women who are influenced by social media, because most of them are about money and they're not about real connections and about the free stuff.
Ooh, I
Okay.
couldn't have
Wow.
said that
Oh,
better.
That was a bomb.
Salute to that
Mic
answer.
drop.
let me build on what my brother said. Right. The free stuff is the disqualifiers.
Did you hear what I said?
Mm.
The free stuff disqualifies you. How many times have you guys heard a woman say a conversation? He was a caring man. He never cheated on me. Never cheated on me. Treated me right. Treated me with love and respect. But he was just too nice. He was
Ooh.
just too good. Right? It was just something about him. He was, and they say it, right? They be saying it. Okay, now I'm gonna try out a lame. I want me a boring man. I want one of the lame guys.
Mm.
The free stuff is the disqualifier. You give them the things that a man's supposed to provide that cost you absolutely nothing. Leadership, love, respect, understanding, right? Those not good enough. It's something else. It's always something else. Girl, he had money. We had a nice little house, right? But it was just something about him. I had to move around.
Mm.
The things that they say they want are the disqualifiers. Let me peep. Let me do this because this was on my head earlier, right? The things they ask of men are the things that when they get in a marriage, the man does, and they walk away from it.
Oh, say that again. Say that again, please.
Right? The things they ask for men to do is the thing that and I don't care. It's ignorant motherfuckers out here, right? I'm talking about real men. He said know what we was talking about earlier, right? About a man that's providing and leading his family forward correctly, right? Those are the disqualifiers, right? But then they go and chase the so-called men, the alpha guy who don't take their shit anyway, and they end up by themselves with 100 bodies on them. We want understanding. We want the grace. No, because the ones, but then y'all go deal with a man who got 12 of y'all to pick from, and he don't, what I'm gonna give you grace for when I got 11 more in the line? Like I said before, our people, what they want, what they need, they don't want, and what they want, they don't need.
Ooh, you done lit some fire up under here.
So I'm gonna talk about this. Look. With that being said, do we hate women? I don't think majority of men hate women. I don't think that's the case. Are men, probably a lot of men, fed up? Yeah, I think that's more accurate. More men are fed up, and more men are more cautious. They move way differently than they probably used to. 20 years ago they was probably moving freely and keeping moving, but now they just like, I don't think it's a good investment. And with the example I guess Trey just gave, I mean, look, I had a woman we're asking that, they just let me know she's not my type of woman. That's all it is. I'm gonna move on to the next. No problem. I appreciate you being honest and upfront with me. That I know what I'm dealing with. You materialistic type, and that's not my type of woman, so I'm gonna move accordingly. But yeah, this thing about man hate, I gotta agree with, I guess I think it was Trey said he's looking for some subscribers, looking for some likes, looking for some attention, just like a woman. He's looking for that attention is going to validate him and make him feel like more of a man, or what he consider a man. But I don't think men are hate women. I just think a lot of men are more cautious. A lot of men are more fed up, and they're looking at things differently. I think that's what it is.
I would agree with that.
I wouldn't disagree with any of what the brothers say. Kudos to all y'all for even being able to articulate and answer back to the idiocy that was that clip. Because for me, it's another example of the Stockholm syndrome that I talk about a lot. Like, this is what we asked for 3 years ago. To be nice, to have a pleasant attitude, things that don't cost anything, because when we sign on, we're going to give you things that cost a lot, and come home and display that emotional intelligence to give you all of those free things that he mentioned there. So again, it's a little insensitive for me. Me personally, I was one of those people that was waving that flag that sometimes, this battle is an uphill battle, and me as a married man that sit next to a woman I love, I wouldn't advise a young man to get married right now, because although marriage has not changed, the people inside a marriage and what marriage consists of, what they're looking for, that's changed. And I'm not willing to give a woman the intangibles or the tangible things that she don't have. I said it when we first came into this space, that if you don't got $20 in your pocket, I will not lend you $20. I don't think you have the wherewithal to give it back. You don't have the know-how to make it. So how can you ask me for it? And even deeper than that, how can you ask me for honesty, for loyalty, for respect, for integrity, and you don't have it? How dare you? And again, 3 years ago, a friend of mine, we sat in these boxes and said exactly the same lines. Like, Just be nice to us. We just want you to be agreeable and have a more pleasant attitude. These things don't cost you anything. Funny how it's turned around. It's completely the Uno reverse card back to us, like we never even said it, like he was original with it. And that's what's so insensitive for me. I can't stand it because all of the things that we've said are now being said against us. Men aren't emotionally intelligent. Men don't know how to get along. Men don't hold each other accountable. These are all of the things we said 3 years ago. It's really insensitive. And that clip right there just, personifies it all. That no, we don't hate women. We love our wives, our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, aunties, cousins. We've been taught how to love them. We display that we love them. And again, all we want to do is love you. That's why we sitting in these boxes, because we were just giving suggestions and constructive criticism. But look where we are. I'll land my plane right there. Sorry for being so long-winded.
No, you're good. Y'all are going at it tonight with that one. I just know it's gonna get worse and worse as we go on with these videos. But no, not worse and worse. But just having the male's perspective, because I think a lot of times women can live in delusion. We can live in delusion, and the things that you see online can definitely coerce you to think that men hate women. And it's like, no, men are waking up, I would say, and saying, I'm not going to deal with this. Because back in the day, you just dealt with it. You just dealt with things. And I feel as though as a man, you shouldn't have to deal with anything. It's your world. Men are the creators of their own world. And so what you create and what you invite in, is totally on you. So does anybody else want to go on this video? You guys
I was real quick question. I would say this. The women are the one who hipped us to it, though. Right? They're the ones who got on social media and flapped their gums and told us all this stuff, right? It wasn't us. They hipped us to it. Kevin Samuels asked 2 questions and he sat quiet and let them talk. Right? They told us what we now know. So we're hip. We understand more than we've ever known before because you gave it to us. So thank you.
King, you're on mute. Or it could be your
Thank
sound
you.
again. Okay,
Thank you. Now, something that I've always said too is the marketplace really dictates itself. Again, I say this as a joke, yet it's truth. I looked up the numbers. Seeking Arrangements had 2 million users back in January of 2013. Now, its latest is just over 30 million, with half of those being young women seeking sugar daddies under the age of 30. So when men are looking around and seeing what the current marketplace is looking like, the market is telling us everything we need to know, right? If things like that weren't occurring, then the marketplace wouldn't have men seeing, women seeking sugar daddies and things like that. So to me, I'm looking at it like, hey, the marketplace is just telling us everything that we need to know. Men need to open up their eyes and ears and listen.
So let me just go there. One of the things that the dating apps have done for the marketplace is giving us actual numbers.
The data.
It's giving us data and metrics. And the only thing is the guy is pandering to women. He thinks he's going to be the next Derek Jackson who made millions off of telling women what they want to hear. And that's the going thing. If you could tell women what they want to hear, you're going to make a lot of money, especially in these streets. But the real reality is that the Western woman has priced themselves out of any reasonable market, especially the ones who frequent YouTube and social media, because a lot of their expectations are actually more than just delusion, right? They've taken terms and everything and they've turned them into, again, horror shows like 50-50, whatever the hell that really means. Men and women have been sharing expenses and living expenses since the 60s. When inflation went up, your wife worked, you work, and everything in between was a negotiation between a man and a woman. But now it sounds like if I have to pay any bill, then you're not a real man. Now, there's nothing more delusional than something like that. Now, any man, I don't care how much money you make, if you're going to let a woman just sit down on beach chairs and drink Mai Tais while you're busting your ass, then you're an asshole. Right? She has to, either she's working in my company or she's doing something beneficial to our family, or else we ain't getting married. I don't give a shit how much money I make. So I don't mind paying the bills because that's what I do in my house. But my wife, whatever money she makes, it goes to the pot. You have, just like I have an allowance, so do you. But her allowance is paid off for the shit that she does when she works. I don't need that. But you ain't going to run around willy-nilly and just saying, hey, my money's my money and your money is your money. Any man who accepts that is an asshole. And, and assholes who let those kind of women through the gate get exactly what they deserve. That's why I don't feel sorry for the Joe Smiths of the world or any other men we're going to talk about, Iman Shumpert or any of these guys. So I'll land it there because we don't ask much from our women. And I don't care what anybody says. We want loyalty. We want exclusivity. We want access. We want nurturing of our children. We want love. We want the damn vows you talk about. And pretty much that's it. We're not that complicated a creature. So, all this other stuff, everybody can miss me with all this shit that we're not doing. A married man is one of the most useful utilities ever who's dedicated to his wife. And we need to stand up, grab our balls, and take the rightful place where we belong. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, you did say a married man who is responsible. What was the word that you used?
Yeah.
Because I think that's missing from married, unmarried, just men who take
I'm talking
accountability
about
and
the
be
responsible married man. I'm talking about we could talk about the eaches, because most men, why get married if you're going to just be a slut whore? If you're gonna, there's enough who do that. I'll grant you that. But we belittle the guys who are dedicated to their families, and there's a lot of. There's not like just like some kind of eaches. Most men who are married are dedicated to their families. That's why we get our ass kicked in divorce courts all the time.
I want to push back on that.
Well, you can push back all you want.
Pain. Most men are not. You are, and I commend you.
No. I said
plenty
most men who are married. I said most men who are married.
I heard what you said, and what I'm saying. Most men who are married. Okay, I'm sorry. Most men who are married are not. You are.
I disagree with you 100%.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead. Cool.
No, I was just saying that most men who are married are not. That's game.
Are not responsible? Is that what you're saying, Sean? They're not responsible and accountable?
Not honorable. No, I ain't say responsible. A lot of them are responsible. But all I'm saying is that just because you got married don't mean you honor.
No. Yes, you said most men. So you got to explain what you mean by most men. Hey, guess what?
Most men don't honor their vows.
The cheating rate for men and women are about the same, in the 20%, 25 percentile. So that means 75% of men ain't cheating. So when you say most men, you got to quantify that shit.
I'm anecdotal. As Trey told me before, I love that. but nah, seriously though, I will say that I am anecdotal, yes. But
that's cool.
what I'm describing is from the standpoint of the reason why I didn't honor the institution of marriage in my younger years is because most of the men that I did experience, knowing directly or indirectly, not all, but most, did not honor their vows. And I will say that it wasn't just men. Most women didn't either.
So I'm not saying it's rare to find a man like yourself who says, I've been with my woman, I honored it, I respect it, and this is what it is. It's rare to find that.
I just want to
Oh, that mercy.
say something really quick for what Sean is saying. So no one wants to be cheated on and no one wants to, go down that route, right? But if it just so happens to happen in your relationship, does that mean that the whole relationship is over? Because you're talking about honoring a relationship. So is honoring a relationship staying with that person within, in the hard times, or is honoring that relationship saying I'll never do this and it'll never be something that happens? I just wanted to ask that question to Sean.
It's a little bit of both. Honoring, you can honor by saying, I won't ever let it happen. If you do make a mistake, which we all are subjected to be able to, and you ask for that forgiveness, honoring that forgiveness is also necessary.
Okay.
Boy, y'all on the fence tonight, boy.
So we could cheat or not?
I mean, personally,
I'm lost.
Personally, I don't respect cheating. But if you have made the mistake of cheating, and whether male or female, and you ask for forgiveness, I think honoring that should be something that you both should work toward.
All right, you guys want to I don't know if y'all thinking or
About what?
Look, for me,
Man, I'm so confused by that goddamn back and forth. I don't understand this shit, man. God damn. You two old head motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying. We responding to what?
For me, honorable means that I'm doing the right thing. And doing the right thing before, not after. Doing the right thing, making the proper decisions before. If I'm going to consider myself an honorable man, that means I'm doing the right thing. It's also a part of integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's paying any attention to me. Nobody's paying any attention. So I'm not on the fence about that. It's the before for me. It's doing it all the time, and adherence to the right thing by definition.
I agree to that. I agree with you there.
Absolutely.
We gotta let Hink put some more meat on this shit that he's talking about, because he mentioned old head. Go ahead, man. What do you mean old head? What does that have to do with me?
And that's you and Sean. Y'all need to just go to goddamn McDonald's and have a coffee and just debate this bullshit. What y'all talking about? God damn.
So tell me how you think it's supposed to be, brother.
Well, how what's supposed to be?
Well, with the shit that Sean's talking about, I didn't bring that up. He said there was no honorable married men.
I didn't say
I
there
don't
wasn't
agree with
any.
that.
I said that it wasn't. Let me ask y'all, do y'all feel, I told you I'm anecdotal, do y'all feel that most men honor their marriage?
I've got one friend that does.
I think most men do.
I've got a mixture of both. I've got friends that have honored their marriage, and you can't get them to do the wrong thing. They won't do anything that would disrespect or be disloyal to their marriage. They won't do it. I've also got some other friends that are a little bit more liberal than others. So it just depends on which one.
I've talked men out of cheating on their wives.
You ain't talking out of it. They just didn't want to do it.
No. Okay. No. They asked me my opinion. You're right, Ricky. They asked me my opinion. And I told them, I said, you don't want to open that door. You don't want to open that door. Now, whether they didn't do it or not, you're right. I didn't make them not do it. I just gave them the ramifications that if they do. Not that their wife would find out and leave them and all that. I said, you don't need that. You don't need that shit. Because now I'm one of the kind of guys on these panels that says, the grass ain't all that green on the other side. Only because, and I'm going to be honest with everybody, I'm going to shut up here. I'm not one of those select guys that women walk up to me and say, yo, man, I'm going to give you some ass. I had to cultivate all the relationships I had to get set So in doing that, it was easy for me not to cheat on my wife because there's no way I'm gonna cultivate a relationship with another woman while I'm married. So she had an extra layer of protection because women weren't routinely throwing some ass at me. Now, if I was a multi-millionaire guy, actor, athlete, I would like to say I'd be the same, but I can't really say for sure I would be. Right? All I know is where I'm at in my station in life. This is just honest shit. I didn't have no issue not cheating on my wife because I didn't want, because real cheating would be cultivating a relationship, having a woman on the side or a family on the side. I wasn't going to do that. I was not going to do that.
So the money would change you, R-Pain.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't. That's the honestly part. I don't know. It's easy for people to sit down here and say, "Oh, never me," and all this shit. I don't know because I didn't have it like that. And I thank God. How about that?
I think it may be the options. He didn't have the option. That's what it was.
That's what I'm saying.
Right on. Okay.
And R-Pain, that's why I say you're rare. There are plenty of people who have options for plenty of different reasons, whether it's their money, whether it's their looks, whether it's their environment, who've had a lot of options, who've gotten married.
I ain't that ugly, right? I mean, women.
I didn't say it. I'm saying your words, brother. I didn't say you were or not. You said this.
I just
No, but the point is that maybe you made a valid point that I didn't think of. I've been in and around the entertainment industry most of my life. So when I speak from my perspective, I often am speaking from the perspective of those who have had options and who did get married and who did not honor because they didn't have to, I guess. As Trey just said, to do it without having to do it behind the scenes, that's something that I haven't run across often. They're very open with it, even like, yo, you know, my wife home, but we gonna go do this. Yo, let's go do that. I'm like very open about it.
Is this true? Most men don't have the sexual options.
Yes.
What men?
Really?
Which men?
Definitely true for a lot.
Which men?
Well, R-Pain, he don't have the sexual options. He just said that.
Well, listen,
but I'm just saying, a swaggericious guy like yourself, Hank, you got options.
Oh, he got options. You have listen. Wait. Before I denigrate myself, I ain't that far off the option. But all I'm just trying to say is,
if I look like Pain, I wouldn't have no choice but to be faithful. I wouldn't have no goddamn choice.
God damn.
You know,
according to Pain,
I want to point to
Hey, much love to you, brother Pain. I'm just bullshitting you.
Nah, I think he's right. Most men are as faithful as the options that they have. A lot of times, you know, men aspire for women and get shot down. A lot of discourages the trajectory of continuing to kind of like babe hound. So, you know, it's a large amount of guys that don't even aspire, you know, to go after women, especially when they have a wife or a significant other. So I would agree with that statement. I wouldn't agree with the statement that men cheat more than women, only because of, you know, 2023, all of the information, you know, the Maury, it's not your baby, so on and so forth. It's a lot of sexual misconduct going on, and it's not all on our part. So when we paint the narrative like, you know, men will just sleep with anybody in anything, I don't necessarily agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you there. Let's see. He said, I don't think anybody.
I don't
said
know
that.
who Big Ant. I'm sorry.
That's my guy. What's good, Big Ant? That's my man right there.
Yeah.
What's good, Big Ant?
Yeah.
Can we tell the truth about cheating, or we gonna keep bumping around the
I gotta get rid of
man, appreciate you.
I cannot. Thank you for the super chat. But I don't know if Pain broke up Adam and Eve, but that was a good one. That I got tears for that one. All right, how do I go back?
The truth is, if a woman stays with a man that cheats, she understands he's her very best option. Right? She's her he is her very best option, right? I don't know why women try to play like they don't know what their man look like, how he carry himself. That's why you like him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's right. I tell people all the time, right? Cheating destroys the relationship because you never know what your relationship might have been without it. Right? At that point, your old relationship dies because a level of trust is gone, a level of intimacy is gone. So is it a good thing? No, but we need to stop talking everybody want to say, and this is my problem with black people as a whole, right? Is cheating wrong? Yes, but nobody want to ever acknowledge it, how we got there.
Right.
No one ever want to talk about what happened. And people want to call it an excuse, but sometimes the excuse is a goddamn reason. Right? So it is really what it is, right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm telling you, me, if I could go back in time, my man, like I wouldn't do it. Right? But for me and other people to acknowledge like it was some things going on that a person was putting you through, or that I allowed them to put me through, if I'm taking total accountability, right? I allowed them to put me through that didn't have me thinking a certain way to have certain actions. That's a lie. Right. And that's why a lot of people don't improve after they go through those things, because they never assess what part they played in it. What were they doing wrong? What were they neglecting you of? What type of emotional load was they putting on you that they felt you was responsible for when it was really their shit? No, it's not right, but it's a reason why shit happens. It's a reason why shit happens. That's all I be saying. Like, but then when it's them, everybody want to rag the excuse to the wheels fall off that bitch. Nah, bro, we all equal in this thing. Players fuck up, man. I keep trying to tell y'all, people fuck up. It's just if that person has enough value for you to stay. That's it.
Yeah. And that's why I asked that question, does it make you dishonorable, or, is it worth staying in the relationship? And I think Ricky just broke that down pretty good. All right. So I think, did everybody go on this one about this man who think that men hate women? We're going to move on to the next video. Before we do that, I do want to read some of these comments that we have here. Frenchie K757 says, I've seen ladies say, if we're effing, then we go together. Negative. Yeah, they in a whole world of delusion. Crazy.
Yeah.
Corey says, why put so much emphasis on sex when sex ain't enough to make a strong relationship? Who was putting a lot of emphasis on sex? Our Pain. I'm just kidding. Mrs. She said, sex may not be the main focus of strength within a relationship. However, each couple will have to agree on how important sex is and how intentional you both will be when implementing sex and intimacy. I do think that a couple should definitely have that conversation, because that is one thing that is supposed to draw you two back together over and over and over again. And if one don't have the sex drive that the other one has, somebody gonna be disappointed. Eugene says, is he talking about incels? Is the incel community increasing?
You know what? I think it is. I think
Probably.
it is. And for humanity and for everybody, thank God for corn. Because if corn wasn't here, they wouldn't have no release. There's a lot of dudes ain't getting nothing. And what makes it worse is they know there's a lot of women stroking out there and they can't get none. I think that's the worst position to be in. That you're a man, everybody around you is getting laid, and all you can look at is listening to the noise between the walls. That's a badass place to be.
Are you speaking from experience again, man? What's going on?
No, I'm not. I just know how much you hurt.
Our Pain said, I bet the neighbors know my name.
College was really bad for
Crazy.
you, huh? College was really bad.
Crazy.
That's
Crazy.
man. You know what, man? I think I did better than a lot of guys. You know, that's neither here nor there.
It wasn't about but the 16 of them in the class in the whole damn school.
I'm just trying to do my public service, man. Don't beat the message out there.
He says, I hate those eyelashes. There, I said it. He also says, I hate those weaves. They itchy when you lay your head on my chest. My God. Frenchie.
Lord have mercy.
K757 said, I will still advise a young man to get married. I would just teach him to know that a wife looks like, I would just teach him, I guess, how to know what a wife
Yeah,
looks
what a
like.
wife
So he
looks
can
like,
tell
I guess.
the
Yeah.
difference between
Yeah.
we wives and the harlots. Black Lexicon says, women want intrinsic proof your word is bond. TS says, we could just walk away and not associate with Black women. Ooh, that would
Not
be
gonna
horrible.
happen.
Hey, yo,
Not
for
gonna
real.
happen.
Wow.
I don't know which
Damn.
Tia. I
It's
can't
not
do it.
gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Mm. Black Lexicon says, if you need post-nut clarity before you decide, you are only setting yourself up for post-nut disaster. Corey says, so women are selling themselves to the highest bidder. Trey says, women are for sale. No woman is out of your league. They're out of your price range.
Damn.
God damn, Trey.
Smooth sailing. I feel like it's been a while. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. He says, this is why married men and unmarried can't and shouldn't fellowship together. The unmarried men are scared to make a decision and don't fulfill their full potential as a man. I don't lie. I'm going to assume that means. So what do you guys think about that comment, actually?
You don't have a slightest clue what he's talking about.
Okay, expound.
Let me tell you, you know what? There's so much evidence out there that men who get married achieve so much more because they have something to lose and something to gain and a family to grow and obligations that they have to stick with. It's the guy out there running around. I mean, there's a couple of guys who it's not an accident that most CEOs are married, that every president of the United States is married, that most people who run shit are married. So this horse shit that this guy's talking about means that he don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, he said that.
Hold on. I got you right. They married because the money
Unless I'm
is
reading it
involved.
wrong.
No, they're married because the money is involved. So again, that just validates what Trey said, right? Everybody that they for sale. We talking about the average guy. What the average guy got to gain from marrying some woman, the wrong woman?
Well, the wrong woman. That's a cat. That's a cat.
Right. So we can't tell him who the right woman is because my wife convinced me to marry her, not the girl he with or the girl he looking for. Right. This is why I keep telling fellas, I can't tell you what to look for in a marriage. Your woman is not my wife.
I agree with that, Ricky. But what I'm saying is, whatever your checklist is, your checklist.
Right. So again,
you just got to live by it.
Let's do what I'm saying though. Is it fair? Can I ask a question? Is it fair to say that most men are simple?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why is it that these gentlemen look for us to dudes everybody want to narrow men down to just sex, and we know that's a lot. Most dudes enjoy being in a relationship.
Okay.
Most do, right? So what is it that the women are not presenting to make these guys see them as wife material? I'll put blame. Trey know me. When I'm on you, I'm on you. Right? The reason why there's no good husbands because there's no good wives. This is what y'all not understanding. Until women we're all here to do what we're all here to do, ladies and gentlemen. Right? So if there's no wives to wives, what's the need of being a good man?
I just had a whole stream on that. I agree with you. I hear what you're saying.
right? So the truth is, no matter what nobody say at this point in time, for these guys who are a lot more aware than of what we had when we was younger, right? As far as information and actual demonstration of seeing it in real time happen to other people, not word of mouth, right? Not by ear from your cousin's uncle that's in California that you ain't seen in 12 years, right? They see it on his face. And everybody keep expecting these young and be like, you know what? I'm gonna marry this girl from Colorado. No, I ain't never. No, that's stupid. These young men don't get married because women are not marriageable at this point. They don't provide enough value for them, especially when it comes to the security of their respect and their emotions, right? To even for somebody to get down on one knee at McDonald's and give them a birthday ring.
Wake that up, Ricky.
Women don't want to play their part. I keep trying to tell y'all asking these women to do something they're not capable of doing. For them to be the woman that you want, they will have to move outside of themselves and do a 180. None of them are do that because then they wouldn't be the women they are.
Hey, Pressure, can I address that question? Because it always irritates me when we talk about putting married men and unmarried. I'm unmarried. If I wanted to learn how to play basketball, I wouldn't go hang out with the baseball players. How am I ever going to learn to be a decent husband if I'm not around decent husbands? I have to put myself around these men who are doing it the correct way, right? A lot of these panels, they know how I feel about marriage, but I'm still here because I like the nuggets of information that he said gives out, that Uncle Rick gives out, that R. Payne gives out. Because it's something for me to take and put in my toolbox as the unmarried man. So if that day does ever come, I got a toolbox full of nuggets that I got from decent husbands that I can actually use. So I disagree. I think that we should be fellowshipping together because it's beneficial to unmarried men like me.
Hey, let me also
Absolutely.
say, I'm a
I wouldn't
little
disagree
apology.
with
Smooth
Trey.
spelling. Let me just say this real. He said, I didn't want to come off like the question is valid from his standpoint. So I shouldn't dismiss that right away. So it's a discussion point, and that's what we're doing. So I shouldn't have said it's just
Absolutely.
complete bullshit. I'm just saying, you know what?
Nah,
I
absolutely
hear your
provokes
question.
thought.
I just don't agree with it.
It absolutely provokes thought. I'm in line with Trey. I think we all learn from each other. You know, younger people learn from older people we learn from younger people. But Trey specifically, I think he's the perfect example. Like he said, he learns a lot from us and we from him as well. Like I said, that started, you know, the conversation. I wouldn't, as a married man, I wouldn't recommend a younger man to be married right now because again of the quality of the women that he has to choose from. And I revert back to Trey because he's a great example of a young man nowadays. He's very well spoken and now he's cares about his finances and his daughter. And if I sat him down at a booth and said, this is an eligible bachelor, convince him that you should be his wife. Like it seems like no one thinks he deserves a legitimate explanation on why he should give you his last name. And that really opened my eyes to what we're looking at in 2023. The schematics, like he said, is just different, you know, and I give him kudos all the time because I just think that the way he puts how he feels, the way he articulates his position is very admirable and very respectable. So kudos to you, young brother. I think we have great fellowship when we meet young minds with older minds, and we're able to have these healthy conversations that make it to the end. I think it's nothing but helpful.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly as well. From a older single man as well, who now believes in the institution of marriage from early on. Not that I believe in being faithful to someone, I still believe in the institution of marriage as a piece of paper. And I have learned otherwise from some of these panels and some of the brothers who have been married on these panels. So we definitely need to coexist and share information with each other.
And I appreciate you guys for coming back week after week to be able to display the information and give your insight and perspectives to those who are looking to be married, to those who are married. there are married people who watch this that's like, I really love your show. I really love that you get the guys together because it gives me a different perspective. I have a whole bunch of different type of audience watching your show and they really appreciate it. So I say thank you guys because I couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So Big Ant, we know he said that he broke up Adam and Eve. So I appreciate that super chat. I did get a couple of cash apps as well. So Ken, thank you so much. Rich, thank you so much. We're gonna go on to the next video.
I don't know if I like being called a serpent.
Not the serpent.
That's it.
The devil was a woman.
I think they were just saying you old. That's all.
No, I'm already having fun. Big Ant is cool. He's cool.
Satan is a woman, so that doesn't apply.
All right, so I'm gonna add this video,
Go ahead.
and we'll go over this. I don't know if you guys have seen this on social media, but I did see it, and I wanted to save it and talk about it on tonight.
I've decided to move into another direction.
That's how you feel. I gotta respect it.
And that's all you have to say. If that's how I feel, I'm gonna respect it.
You seem like
You said your one-liner. If that's all you have to say, let's hug and let's just let it go. You ain't trying to fight for nothing.
You seem like you've already made your
It
decision.
ain't about me already making a decision. You don't have a rebuttal
You
for
seem
nothing that I'm
like you've
saying.
already made your decision.
I wanted you to say something.
I'm
and you're not
listening
saying
to you speak.
It's not time to listen. It's time to talk. All of the things you say, you want to be there. You're here for me. You're all about the future and everything. You didn't even fight for a second.
So,
Precious, this
Yes.
is my previous relationship.
Oh wow.
There is an incessant need amongst women under the age of 35 for some reason to put men in a position to where they need to fight for this. Now, this woman just sat here and said, I'm moving on.
Mm-hmm.
And he did what a respectable man should do, which is respect your decision to leave.
Mm-hmm.
He did the right thing. I respect it. You don't want to be with me. And this is the immature manipulation that we have that goes on with women. Instead of you fighting for it, you try to manipulate me into fighting for it because it makes you feel better. If there's an incessant need to put men in a position to make them seem like, I gotta have you, fight for me, fight for me. I had my exes said to me, you didn't even try. You said you wanted to go. Go. I'm not fighting for anybody who won't fight for me. If you want to be here, be here. It's that simple. Outside of that, you want to leave? I will help you pack your shit and put it at the end of the damn driveway. Because you best believe that there's somebody younger, firmer, and tighter than you that does want to be here. So I have an issue when I see these videos because I've personally been through it. I have watched a woman ruin her family over how she felt. It's personal to me. I've watched her do it and then get frustrated and mad because the man didn't want to fight for it. You didn't want to fight for it. And that's why nobody fought for it. And that's why it's over. I respect this gentleman for doing exactly what he did because that's what I did. I respect your decision. Have a good life. It's irritating and it's manipulation at its finest.
All right. Well, once a woman makes a decision, should a man fight for the relationship? Who wants to go next?
No.
Looks like it's going to be unanimous, but
no. Fight for what? The relationship's over. Relationship's over. First and foremost, right? Never take a woman whose eyelashes is longer than her hair seriously. First and foremost, right? But don't put no ultimatums on me. You gonna fail. You gonna fail. Like I tell the fellas, hey, I'm from a certain age, right? Y'all remember the Iowa test? You got to keep that number 2 pencil sharp, baby. Keep it sharp, no eraser. When she tests you, you better pass. You let her. No, you ain't got the control. You ain't. That's the only control you have in this relationship is when you gonna leave. That's it. I'm taking care of everything. What you complaining about? Fight for me. So you telling me I gotta fight for something that's mine?
Oh.
That mean you know when a little kid down the street stole my bike, I went and fought him for my shit. That means you can be taken. That means you can be removed from me. Fight for you. No, what? Either you here or you not. If you not, that's cool too. I get over it. But don't trying to play like, man, she dirty for that, bro. That's some dirty shit. And it's on national TV too.
Right.
She looked bad. And like I said, me personally, all that talking he was doing after she snapped, I ain't cool with that. What are you talking about? I don't want to get me another water or a drink and start talking to everybody else, man. She tripping, bro. She
definitely needed a refill. I don't know what he was drinking out that bottle.
Drinking the hell out that empty bottle. Right? No, what is you talking about? Right? I don't.
So Ricky, you done? Let me real quick. She's already telling him that her eye is on the next eggplant. She's already telling him. You know, he first of all, he even said too many words. I'm not fighting for you. You're supposed to be my woman. You either here or you're not. You know, so I don't know how much of it is a skit or not, but I think he already said too many words. You know, and I think more men need to be able to say, listen, I'm not going to get into an argument. You give me an ultimatum. You're either here or you're gone. Matter of fact, the argument itself is terms to break up. That's just like a woman coming to a man saying, you know what? I'm thinking that we should have an open relationship. Just the thought of her coming to me with that shit means we're over. Right? So, you know, there's certain things. Listen, good luck with your, you know, blonde hair, because you're supposed to be a black woman, and your eyelashes, and find a guy to my caliber again, who's willing to put up with all the bullshit that you already put me through before you came with this last bit of horse shit. You know? So, all right, later. And that's what we need to start teaching men. You know, we don't need to put up with this thing, because you get a guy who's willing to do anything in terms of cultivating a relationship into a marriage. There ain't that many of us, you know, that kind of man needs to be respected and revered. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. King Smith, you want to go on that one?
I ain't got nothing to add.
All right, Mr. Pink.
Yeah. I was going. It's funny you show that video, because I was definitely going to do a reaction, but never got around to doing it. But yeah, only woman I'm gonna fight for is my wife. I'm not gonna fight for no girlfriend. I mean, I'm not for what. Why I'm gonna fight for something that may not even last with you, that I don't really see that much value in at all. So I'm not gonna fight with you because it's not worth investing in fighting for. Now, I'm gonna fight for my marriage. I'm gonna fight for my wife. But a goddamn girl, you a dime a dozen, yeah, it's not worth it. But you know, he was so stressed out. He's sucking on it, like they said, an empty bottle. You know, he's sipping on her. He just trying to play it off cool. He looks real foolish, even entertaining this woman, even have this conversation. But you know, he really said a whole lot of nothing. Nothing need to be said. I wouldn't have said a word. I said okay, and shook my head and walked away. Matter of fact, I would have beat her out the door. Beat me up out the door. I'm out.
And for any younger guys, you guys is in your 20s, this is a power move. This is a power move that women do. This is a pissing on the tree, marking territory BS that they do, because the moment that you acquiesce and you getting weak and you bend the knee to her, she owns your ass now. She got you. Look, I told him I was leave. He begging me to stay, because that's what she's gonna say about you behind closed doors. Women want to leave, let them go.
Mr. He said, did you go on this one?
The fellas covered that one. I agree with the fellas wholeheartedly.
All right, well, it's unanimous. Go ahead and leave.
No, you gotta let Sean weigh in on this though.
I agree.
Have any plans to resign? Excuse me.
I agree.
Dr. Newsom.
Lee, yeah, you shouldn't have to fight for somebody who is looking for you to fight.
Mm-hmm.
That should be innate.
And Precious, it's just deeper than this. They also do this with the children too. It goes deeper than this. Then, just a relationship. They will drag your ass into court just to see if you'll fight for your kids too.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't never lied
Just
about
the
that,
term.
Trey.
Just the term
Fine.
fight, like it's like Trey said, it's these landmines that they plant. One step, kaboom, and like you said, if you allow them to plant one, they'll plant another, and sooner or later, you're going to rub her the wrong way. It's the same, gripe we have with simps. You can continue to acquiesce to these women and do what they say and move how they say move, but why is it that sooner or later even you guys come to terms? Like, you do everything they say. You listen to them all the time, and y'all still yelling at each other and don't. You're never gonna be able to please. So that's why stand, firm in your foundation and move accordingly.
I hear that. Thank you for joining, JR. How are you this evening, sir? Is he there? I'm quite sure if he's there. All right, maybe he'll join us a little later. So I have 2 more videos that I want to show now. Where we about to go is the ghetto. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know that right now we about to go to the ghetto. All right, but I wanted to play this video for Hank. Hank always talking about leave her at the restaurant. Leave her at the restaurant. Well, we had an incident at the restaurants. Okay.
Pay for the goddamn food. Pay for the damn food. Pay for the damn food. What would y'all do if a nigga invited you out and they couldn't pay for the food? Give me 1 second. And you not gonna pay? What you mean? What the fuck is going on? He invited me out. You invited me out and you can't pay? What you mean?
Crazy, y'all. That's crazy, y'all.
Call your ass because you broke and you ain't got no money.
She crazy. She crazy, y'all.
He invited me out and he can't fucking pay.
She crazy. Crazy.
What the fuck do you mean?
2023, man.
What do you mean? I'm not paying for nothing. And I'm gonna record your ass and you getting posted. He invited me out and talking about he don't got no fucking money.
Crazy, y'all. She crazy. But yeah, what? I'm finna leave, man, because she's talking crazy.
The ghetto. Okay. The ghetto.
Oh boy.
So my question is, because
So,
Hank is
do
always
we
saying
hate
leave at the
women?
restaurant. Sean, are you there? Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. Sean. Okay. So Hank is always saying leave her at the restaurant, right? And this woman is here saying that she's not going to pay for a meal. And the man actually leaves her at the restaurant, right? But what are the signs of this type of woman before they even sit down and eat? Like, what are the signs of a leave her at the restaurant type of woman? Because that has to definitely be seen before you actually take a woman out in a public place and treat her. Do you guys think that this woman just came out of nowhere with this type of attitude, or he had to see some signs of this before taking her out?
If it was, yeah, I mean, me personally, I think that he probably ignored some signs. I don't even think he should have been out with her. She's just too ratchet. I mean, the way she went from 0 to 10 and all the extra stuff she was doing, but he was doing it right along with her. I mean, he pulling out his phone. He shouldn't even been pulling out his phone. I don't know why people do that. And maybe that's a young thing, but for the moment that she got disrespectful and she was doing the most, he should have just got up and left.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said it the other day on LaPie from Sunday. He was, he thought he was gonna get some quick cheeks, but then I think he just realized how much it's just not worth.
it.
At the end of the day, it's just not worth getting that. And you notice how she acted a damn fool. But like JR said, he didn't do it himself no favors because he did it too. So now he got embarrassed on her social media, and he got embarrassed on his own social media by showing this bullshit, showing you made a mistake, that you got with this ratchet woman to the point that you did take her out to the goddamn restaurant. And it should have never got to that point with other restaurants, because I'm sure that they probably had conversations on the phone, prior to maybe a couple days before. And she was talking so sweet, yeah, you take me to the restaurant, looking forward to doing it, and maybe we could chill out later. And then I think maybe she kind of backslid. Maybe she came on the period, thought about, well, I can't give you that tonight, I'm on my menstrual. And now he don't want to have nothing to do with it. Now he don't want to pay for the food no more. Now he ready to get up out of it. Matter of fact, she left him with a look like a little bit of salad on the back of his neck. I think that's what she was throwing at his ass. A head of lettuce. I don't know what she threw at it, man. Yeah,
It looked like a cup. It looked like a drink. It was.
Yeah,
It looked like a
it
drink.
was that a drink? I thought it was some lettuce. God damn. Yeah, she's probably another one of them women who wants you to fight for her. You know what I'm saying? She wants you to fight for her. And he was ready to get up out of Dodge because he wasn't trying to catch a charge, probably because he was on probation. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't want to catch no charge. So he got up through, which you never should have got with that heifer. But that was your fault.
Oh. Hey. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, JR, I'm telling these young dudes to film, because in the story of he said versus she said, I'd rather say, hey, let's let the receipts dictate what happened from here on out. One of the reasons why I say that, Tariq Hill gave a funny explanation of his wife when she was in the stands and somebody was standing behind her, and she went to go and celebrate, and a hot dog fell on her. Well, she was telling the story to Tariq, and it's like, yeah, and this guy dropped a hot dog or whatever, yada yada. He said he went back and saw the video, was like, man, that dude didn't drop that on you. You hit it out his hand, right? So I'm telling these, folks, hey, film yourself so that you got the receipts for your version of what happened in case some bullshit come back up.
Yeah,
I think since JR is 57, he's not as quick with it. No, I'm just kidding.
But King, when you in a place like that, like a stadium, right? There's plenty of cameras around with that, so that probably won't be a problem. Now, if you in a private setting where there's not no witnesses or something like that, I can kind of agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about in a restaurant, because you still got a lot of eyes in there most of the time, unless it's like one of the intimate setting type things where there's not a lot of people around. Then okay, I can agree. But yeah, for the most part, that's bullshit. I don't even want you to pull pictures out, take pictures of your goddamn drinks and food. That shit annoys me. That shit, because first of all, you let me know you don't care about me enough. You're more worried about feeding your audience or your friends or people who really probably don't give a shit about you than you are with sitting at the table across from me.
I don't care.
Yes, that's disrespectful. You got Hink at your table. What the fuck are you pulling your goddamn camera out? I'm just saying.
Well, that's right.
I
can
Precious,
understand that.
a lot of the issue here is we think that 20-year-olds have phone conversations. They don't. They don't talk on the phone. So a lot of this conversation prior to them meeting up, he's texting them.
I think it was like DMs.
DMs and texts. Well, it's really hard to get a gauge on a person when you send in, yeah, okay, cool, all right,
meet you there.
You're right. There's nothing there. So you get her there, and then you start to see the real her, and you're like, oh, hell no. I'm out.
My thing is, why does she
However,
like
I will say this though. However, I am a believer. If you invite her out, you need to pay for it. That's just my opinion. And I don't make it right or wrong. That's just my opinion. If you want her to go out, you should pay for it, unless her behavior is so unruly that she needs to pay for it herself. Now, again, I would have liked to see what happened prior to all of this to find out whether or not her behavior deserved her paying for her own meal. But I'll finish with this. I'll let you go, King Smith. I always find it interesting that women love to call men broke, and you can't even pay for your meal.
Right? How
If
you
it
go
was that
out and
big a
not have no
deal,
money?
if it was that big a deal, pay for it. And okay, he's a loser. He's a whatever. I pay for my own meal, and you move on. Whatever happened to the time? I know when I was growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, all the women always had money.
Always had
Just
some
in
pocket
case.
change. Yep.
They always had some pocket just in case something happened.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing now those days are over. Maybe that's due to lack of fathers or male, authority in the because a man wouldn't let you go out on a date without having a little bit of pocket change. I don't know. But to me, it sounds like she was stuck in a bind. If you're not gonna pay for it,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Pay for it.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I'm in a bind, Nate. I need some help. So, because if you notice, she tried to use that filming to sneak out. Yeah, you sneaking out too. He paid for his, but you sneaking out right behind him because you can't pay for it. To me, I refer to it as broke bitch energy. That's what she had. She has a lot of broke bitch energy. She can't pay for her own meal, which is why she's making this huge scene. She's making this big
Right?
scene.
She want to tell the whole restaurant.
Right.
Well, something that hasn't been said, but I think that all 6, 7 of us here would do is set the expectation early on how the outing is going to go. I don't think that young men are doing that, setting the expectation clearly as, hey, this is what we're doing. I've got this, you know what I'm saying? And then anything beyond that, we can negotiate. We can talk about. I think all 7 of us here have mastered that, but people
No.
28 and younger,
No.
man,
Master getting the check and acting like you're going to the front to pay. Tell them to split it, then leave. That's what you do, sir. I mastered that.
Then leave.
setting the expectations on going out, right? I had a young man tell me, well, King, man, but I don't know if she would be willing to go out with me. I'm like, okay, and if she don't, if you say what you want and she's like, I don't mess with that, look to the right. There's somebody else just as fine as her, man. Like, walk away, say, I bet, deuces.
I went out on a date before and the guy's card declined, and I paid for the whole meal.
What? If I could chime in, you got to be prepared.
I would say, did he get a second date?
No, he didn't.
No, he
But,
didn't.
what was we gonna do? Like,
Yeah, Trey came up with something. Trey came up with something. I think for the modern era, I think that you need to establish it before you go out. Now, I'm an old school. I pay for all the dates. I still do. My wife doesn't reach in her pocket. But the point is that I think in today's market, I don't think a man should pay for any dates. But these women out there, I think the first encounter should just be getting to know each other. That's it. And it should be no obligation on you and no obligation on me. And that's it. Because I don't need to have expectations of sex. And you should have no expectation that I'm paying. However, this guy is 100% wrong in this situation. Because clearly he didn't communicate to her. And I looked at the restaurant. What the hell was that meal? Like $25? That shit was a ratchet. I mean, that wasn't like some high-end restaurant. So you take this chick out, she might be ratchet or red. She might be ratchet. You find out you ain't getting no legs that night. And so you're gonna let her make a scene. And I heard him mumbling. Listen, man, you gotta be able to take it. I mean, how much she's gonna either he didn't have no money and he took her out under false pretenses. And that could be the case. Or just pay the $25.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, the way she was dressed, I'm sure he probably was like,
Is that a thermal?
It's a turtleneck, I
What the
think.
hell is that? McRib? What the hell is that?
Crazy, y'all.
We're talking about some high-end spot.
No, like it's one of them places that turned to a club after hours or something. It's probably starting tables out the way.
Look like she just came from hooping or something. Shit.
For real. She like she just came from the
You know,
pyramid.
I want to be on the board. I want to be on the dude's side, but in this case, well, look at all the agita that he caused because he didn't want to pay for this chick. Like his whole life depended on whether he put $1 down for her.
I think,
you know,
he
okay, go ahead,
caused her
Joe.
reaction.
I'm just saying.
Look, I think Trey hit it on the money. I don't think they had conversations. I think he probably walked into something where he was surprised.
Surprised about what? That this ratchet chick.
No, what I'm saying is that the younger generation, they don't have conversations. I can
Yeah, I
believe
agree with
they
that.
don't. So like whatever he was seeing, maybe he couldn't foresee it. But like I'm with you. Like back in the day, not every woman even made it to a date. You know, I was taking them to somebody's basement. We was on the lakefront. Not every woman was able to get a date. Like you had to be quality. You know, like you had to be able to wear your hair a certain type of way. If you had some loud ass hair, I wasn't taking you out. I wasn't gonna spend my money. We'll go for some drinks, so I'll go get a bottle. You know, we ride around. But not every woman made it to get a date, and I don't think too many of the younger generation do that. They're not vetting properly. Like I knew who was date worthy and who wasn't. I've never had a bad date because if you made it to a date, then obviously I wanted you to be in this element.
Yeah, and to everybody's point, even if she was being ratchet, the cost for not vetting well should have been the cost of that meal. That's it. Yeah, you know, just
Everything has a cost.
chuck it up. Yeah, chuck it up to I should have vetted you a lot better. Have a good life and keep it moving.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I had to do.
Absolutely. I agree with everything the fellas said. I would give the younger fellas a suggestion of what to look for pre-offended. You know, a young lady that's, you know, ready to be offended about any and everything. I think that's one of those red flags that he could have seen, because she looks like she was ready to go from, you know, 0 to 10 in a minute. So just that pre-offense, you know, ready to pop off, very offended, very, you know, triggered by the slightest thing is definitely an indication to look out for.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. I was sitting there with my granddaughter over the week, and I had to point out to her. I said, "Yo, you know, you are complaining and being negative about everything. Like, oh man, look at this." And she's only 13. To her, you know, and defense of her. But the point is that she didn't even recognize how influential social media and the times were having on her perspective and her position on how she approached life. Everything was attitude, and she reminded me a lot of myself, because the environment is what really dictates who you become. And I remember coming out here, I might have told you a story, and I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard and somebody said hi to me, and I threw up my hands ready to fight. And my brother looked at me like, yo, they just said hi. I was like, so they don't know me? But it was due to I was around the wrong environment.
It's an environment. Quincy said, would you have a date at KFC if he was a good brother? Nope. I had one at Popeyes. We ain't going to KFC. We can go to Popeyes.
But can I ask you this? Do y'all feel that social media is really starting to breed superficial, desensitized generations?
Starting.
Right.
Well, okay. Because I don't even think it's just the younger folks. I think us older folks also are starting to get affected by this. Not maybe as old as Payne and myself, but you know, some close to it. No, but seriously, how much effect do y'all feel social media is doing to our society right now?
On a scale of 1 to 10, an 11.
I think social media just validates the mentalities.
Shines
right?
the spotlight.
You know what I'm saying? It just validates, because like I hate when we had a conversation when everybody talking about, well, that's the loud minority. No, it's not. It's a lot. Most people have the same mentality. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is when somebody has an idiotic approach to something, then they get on social media and see everybody that like them agreeing with them and validating their thought process, and then they go see some supposedly celebrity who got the blueprint to being successful in life, validating they feelings, right? It just, the world's one big, what they call it? It's one big bubble chamber. You know what I'm saying? Like all it do is they continue to reinforce bad mentality, echo chambers. Yeah, it and it's to the point, like I said, it's so crazy because the algorithm gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like one big bubble, and it just continues to validate, crazy thinking, bad behavior at the end of the day.
Did everybody go on this one? All right, so I have one more video. This video encompasses family and a blended family situation. So I wanted to talk about this with you guys. Let me just make sure I have my, okay, it's all the way down here. Alrighty.
It's like we've had this conversation before. It's always been my dream for my son to live with me. This is the first time we have lived together, and then he's come for the summer. But unless I'm saying something wrong, like I felt like that it was a good experience for you.
Yeah. He was a good kid. He was easy to get along with, but it was different. It was somebody always there when I'm used to it just being me and him.
If you weren't dating her, would he live with you now?
He probably would be with me more.
If he wants to go and get his son, then I think that he should. Or if I'm not comfortable with it, they can get an Airbnb or, something like that. But I don't want to block that. I want him to be the best father he can be.
They should get an Airbnb.
Can't do that.
You talking about Airbnb here or like where he lives?
Poor Ashley can't even process
I was
it.
like, hold on. I thought you were talking about like if he was there and didn't want to drive all the way back home.
No,
You talking
no,
about an Airbnb here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's his son. He's not going anywhere. You got to dig your heels in. It's not going to be easy. Like you have to let go of those things that are stopping you from being a family.
If it was something that I didn't want for that time.
No, I mean, that's your truth, but that's his son. So how does that work?
Dumper. Dumper.
I'm gonna sit
Dump
this
her.
one out. Y'all got it.
Man, I saw that one in real time.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, the whole episode. And the
Mhm.
points that she was making was just a reflection of selfish, lack of understanding. And selfish, I couldn't emphasize how selfish this lady was being. That's just a portion of it. She was even deeper. Well, I just didn't. She went in and really, I heard the running feet. That's all I was cringing while I was listening to her because she was just being, and saying she wanted to be in a relationship and wanted to marry this man. I think that's the ultimatum, and she was making the ultimatum
Mhm.
about something along those lines. But she was the one complaining. And this man was trying to be not only good to her, but he was trying to be a good father and bring her into the family. And he ultimately chose to leave her alone. And then she got some act right. And she realized, oh, yeah, well, he is good. And I don't want to give him up. But yeah, that's a horrible, selfish behavior that unfortunately is becoming more and more common. Not to that extent, though, but it's definitely the selfish behavior is becoming more and more common.
She don't have kids.
Nah, she didn't.
No.
Okay.
Wait. But she said she wanted kids, but she wanted to be their kids. I think something along those lines. It was horrible.
So, I mean, blended family, should it be that difficult? You know, you want to be with someone that someone has a child or children. You know, how are you going to tell them to get an Airbnb and say, well, I'm just used to it being me and him? Well, while that's a reality, it's almost like she doesn't want to live in the reality of what's going on with the man that she's with.
It's going to be pretty difficult with that particular relationship because she don't have any children, and so she can't really relate to him. And I think that he should run her the Flintstone feet as well. And I think that he should leave her alone because mentally it's just going to be hard to be able to accept that it's just not them. And so when it comes to his child has to come first. I've heard him even. And I can understand he don't want to bring his child around, but she's already given those red flags that we discussed previously, and it's just got to be something. Got to chalk it up. You know, he's gonna have to find somebody that's either had children and maybe they're grown, either had kids because they can relate. So I mean, him looking for that woman that don't have kids and he has kids. I don't know the age, but it sounds like that his son may be a little bit younger, or it could be maybe a teenager. But either way, it's still taking time for them, and she must not have a life or have anything to do because she wants to spend all the time with him, and she's not willing to bend to be able to accept that he has a child and he's going to be part of their life. So I would just say it's just not going to work.
What a lovely answer that was. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jimmy Rizzo, how are you?
I mean, I'm doing okay, really. I like to maybe give everybody a voice because everybody needs a voice, really. And my lady, I love you, and I like the answers and what people give. No, because it's like real. And thank you for letting me on the stage and me being real. And that's the only thing I wish to say to you. Thank you for letting me be in here. And I'm a little bit drunk, and I do apologize. And thank you for letting me on the stage and maybe just be myself. So this is the reason why I love you all. And I think everybody in this room has given a good, reasonable answer. And everybody is old. Like I'm 60 years of age. I mean, come on now. And that's why I love you all. You know. And that's the only thing I need to say to people. Just be yourself, be real, and be all that you can be. And that's it, really. And I love everybody. And I love the lady for giving me the opportunity to say what I need to say. And I'm going to go to bed soon because it's really past my time. But I will hang out with you all and just listen to what you wise older gentlemen and older ladies need to say. And that's it, really. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Hey, let me just go. You got something to say? Let me just go real quick on this guy.
Like he just dropped off?
Yeah, he just dropped off. You know, I'm glad he didn't go too crazy. I love him too. But let me just throw this out.
I thought he said he should stick around.
The lady.
I think he got a little help. I can print him out.
Do you have a link? Do you have a link to that whole video?
How can you believe in Jesus?
Hey.
Okay, man. You just gotta give her "I love you" back. You know.
I thought he said he was going to, so you know, he said he was going to stick around and listen. So I figured, you know.
No. I think the best thing happened. Hey, listen. Do we have a link to that whole video?
A link
in
to the whole video.
description?
It's a show. It's a show that they came.
Okay, so do we have a link to that so we can see more of it?
So,
You don't have to worry about it now. But is there a link, or you know, what's the show's name? I don't know.
Well, spoilers alert. Spoilers alert. She did wind up coming back, and after she went to therapy and realized that she was being very selfish.
I'd like to see
Sean ain't shit, is he? Sean ain't
No,
shit.
no, my whole thing
He
is
ain't
that
he ain't shit. He asked for the link and he gave a spoiler.
yeah, I know. You know what,
I'm
man?
gonna tell you the ending of the movie, regardless you want to hear it or not.
I appreciate that, Sean. Okay, but I would like to see more of the dynamic, because even if she came back, that doesn't mean that he should accept it. Because I just think that that's a flex with the son. She's probably got all kinds of other things she's gonna put in the way. So the son is just one thing, right? So she's with this dude. She knows he has a son before they got together. And just the notion in her head that she's going to tell him, listen, man, you know what? You could have your son, but he don't need to be around me. Put him in y'all go to an Airbnb. I mean, come on. You know, so that's okay. So we get that corrected. How much other traumas does she have that's going to reveal themselves? Now, I heard they're not married. But when he opens that damn gate and lets her walk through the islands of matrimony, he's going to get every stinking thing he deserves. Because she's, you know, I'm telling men, listen, you're going to marry a woman, she's got to deserve it. Because let me tell you, you're not partners, and you're going to put much more into the relationship than, I shouldn't say that definitively, but a woman will be hard pressed to put more into a relationship than you would for her, because your obligation is greater than hers. It's as simple as that. I'll just leave it there. We can discuss that on a different show.
Yeah, it just, to me, it didn't seem like, you know, if he said his goal was to have his son, and so if that's what your plan is, if that's what you want to do, especially a woman you're not married to, that shouldn't even stop you. It just seemed like he wasn't standing his ground enough, and didn't look at her crazy like she had 5 heads when she said something about an Airbnb. Like he just seemed very passive about
The
it.
fact that she could even put those words together is enough.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, but
Well,
this is the
girl,
reoccurring theme. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mrs. Caesar. You started first, so I did. Go ahead, bro.
I'll be real quick, man. I just think it's a reoccurring theme, just to control. Like I said, you know, Prush, they just plant these landmines, and this is no different. You know, to be able to even think that you have the right audacity, you know, or control to tell somebody what they do with their seed, it's preposterous. So, you know, I just think it's very insensitive, but I think it's just one of the landmines that they plant in the battlefield that is love. Love is a battlefield.
Think you want to go? Because I do want to read this little excerpt. It's kind of the same thing, but I want to get you guys' opinion on it. It's almost the same thing, actually. Go ahead, Hank.
No, what I was gonna say, man, it's bad. There's no way I would have got back with her, because she's gonna go to her default mode. She really don't care about that boy's son there. He's a distraction, and you should have known this early on in the relationship when we was talking about kids and letting them know I already have a son. How do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about possibly being a stepmother if we was to get married? And again, he probably just ignored that red flag and accepted. You know why? Maybe she gives good loving. I don't know why he ignored it. He shouldn't have. Yeah, he's making a bad investment. And with spoiler alert with Sean, talk about she came back after. I don't care if she came back or not. There's nothing to come back to, because you totally disrespectful to my son. To the mere fact that you even recommended us getting an Airbnb, that's totally disrespectful. Matter of fact, you should have been opening up that house so much, overcompensating the situation to the fact you was willing on giving up your bed for that child to have somewhere to sleep if they didn't have a place to lay their head. That's how much you should have been willing to sacrifice. But no, that's just the opposite. She like, ugh, why is he here?
Right.
Okay, look, when he's here, y'all can't come over. You know, y'all need to go get an Airbnb and rent a place for the weekend. What type of shit?
Crazy.
That's totally disrespectful for that man and his son, man. None at all. And talking about you want more knowledge, to hell with that. She wants you to have your son less. She's mad that you get them twice a month, maybe every other weekend. She's mad about that. She's probably only want you get them once a month. And hell, don't even think about trying to get him during the summertime. And he been there 3 months on a consistent. Oh, that's gonna be a problem for her. So I don't care how much counseling she's getting, it's not going to change. She's still gonna have them ill feelings in the back of her mind. And you're gonna be looking at her sideways, wondering how she go. And then if she has to correct that child, if she has to talk to that child, say anything to that child, how do I know you're not doing this out of malice and spite? You saying it from a love point of view. I can't assume that because of what you said already on TV. You didn't say this in the privacy of a council where nobody's around, just me and you. You said it on TV. So now his baby mama knows this. Family member knows this. Everybody sees, dude, what are you thinking? I hope you don't stay with this woman. Ain't no piece of ass that good, worthy enough for you to stay with, and she's disrespecting your child like that. Hell no. Ain't no goddamn woman gonna make it with me.
This one says, I need a divorce within 30 days fast. My husband's sister passed away, and he plans on getting full custody of her kids full time. The kids are 11, 8, and 5. I have one child that's 17, and I never wanted any more kids. I hate being a parent, and I never wanted to be a stepmom. Any good divorce lawyers in the DFW area? So she is married to this man. His sister passed away. His sister has 3 children, and she is saying, I want a divorce. Now, is that one a bit different than the one I just showed? Because they're not married.
Hold on.
This couple here are married.
Okay, so you're saying this couple is married and the husband's sister passed away and she had 3 kids and he has to get the kids?
The sister had 3 kids, 11, 8, and 5. She has one child that's 17, so older child. He doesn't have it. It seems like they don't have any kids together. And she says, I never wanted any more kids. I hate being a parent, and I never wanted to be a stepmom. Any good divorce stories in the DFW area?
Wow, man, she's trifling. She's trifling. I mean, that's something that you can't control. I think a lot of people don't really understand family. You know, I don't think they understand the importance of family and how sometimes we have to step up. I would hate that if something happened I would feel obligated. Like if something happened to my sister, I would feel obligated to have to step in to do something with the kids. I just can't just ignore the fact that they're young and she's not there. So even if I have to help out with her husband, then that's something that I have to do. We need to step up and be present in those roles, especially for family. Family is everything. And I don't think that we understand our duty when it comes to individuals in a family. But even when you are married, you adopt into that family. And so you have to kind of look at them. You don't have to get along, but if they have a good relationship, then you should be understanding. It's going to be difficult. It is something difficult. I mean, it's difficult if somebody lost a limb. It's not nothing that you anticipate, but you have to understand what comes with marriage and combining families together. So that's just something trifling for her to say, to even put out there. I don't know, where did you get this from? Is this a true story or is this something that's hypothetical?
It's a post that I saw, anonymous member, DFW Girl Plug, it says. But
yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine. That's another selfish person that doesn't value the importance of marriage and family. So I just, it's unfortunate, man. You know, hopefully you got a pre-number, right?
Yeah, I agree with JR. Is it different? Absolutely, it's different. But the whole dynamics of the selfishness and the inconsideration is still present. The difference is, of course, because the presence is the person's child versus the children of his deceased, but it doesn't negate or it doesn't dismiss that it's still selfish and inconsiderate to your husband in this case, The other one was planning to get married, and they had been in a relationship for a while, but it's still rooted in selfishness and consideration, and that's just something that's prevalent again in this day and age. That I'm starting to feel a little concerned that is bleeding into parts of the society that it's just we're about to drown in it if we don't do something about it.
Mm.
That girl on the first one, I can at least respect the fact that she came out before they got married. So like at least he's aware and he's not about to get tied into something and then it just be this whole long drawn out thing. So she's already which she can. She's entitled to feel the way she feels. It's just unfortunate that they've been dating and that came out, but better then than later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but in fairness, not being insensitive, but the other girl as well was very honest about her position of not liking being a mother. The child is about to be 17, getting ready to leave the house, and then you got 3 children that you have no growing and no bearings of raising coming into your household when you're already feeling that way. It's a fair place to be. I don't think it's a considerate or a considerate place, but she was being very honest and open about it, and I think she needs those divorce lawyers if that's what she's standing on. Because to your point, JR, she really is not honoring the vows that she took and being considerate to her husband.
Something to keep in mind too is that it's not saying that the kids have to be that this has to be a forever thing. You know, I mean, even if you're trying to sort some things out, maybe they could temporarily stay there until you figure it out. It could be something that's long term. You know, maybe somebody else in the family wants to step up, but if it's a passing like that, then that's where that consideration will come in. It's like you already talking about divorce lawyers. It's not even a guarantee that them children are going to even be there. So it just shows she's showing her true colors. And I'm not disagreeing with you, Sean, and what you're saying, but it's just one of those things. Like, damn, like I never imagined me being in this situation where this woman would say something like that, or maybe he did see some signs and he ignored it. Which takes us back to we have to vet properly. But I don't think myself, I know that our bodies are not going to last forever. So I would be prepared to be in it for the long run, no matter what. But I don't think everybody has that. I don't think people actually are realistic about the possibilities of things that can happen. And so if you don't discuss those things or either ask the right questions or ask enough questions, then you can't really decide if that's that person.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that she said talking about how selfish she was, talking about, you know, you can't stand kids. I wish you
Right.
ain't being a parent. Yeah,
That's what I was
you
gonna
should have
say.
talked about that before you lay down and got that dick. You know, you don't want that, so you get pregnant and have a child. But now I don't know if they got a kid together, or he's coming in without kids and maybe looking to have kids. He's married to a woman who don't even want to have kids and won't even bless him with his own kid, but he was willing to accept your child. Your child. I don't know how old was when they got married, but he was willing to accept your child. But the man say, "Hey, baby, I would like to have a kid of my own between us," and you won't accept that. You're not willing to do it. Okay, fine. It's obviously accepted because he's still with her. But now it's in a situation where he needs to, you know, take in his nieces and nephews for whatever reason. You know, and like Jay said, it could be a temporary situation, maybe until the father could get himself on his feet and maybe take custody of them kids back. Who knows? But she's not even willing to do that, to the point where she's ready to ruin her marriage over this bullshit. It's not like it's a permanent thing, as far as we know now.
Nope.
It could be a permanent thing. We don't know. But as far as what we know, the details we got, it's not a permanent thing. It may not be a permanent thing, but you're willing to make a permanent decision and get divorced over this bullshit. Yeah, you wasn't in it for the long haul anyway. You was just in it for the good time. Everything's good, you with it. As soon as it get rough, yeah, you ready to get up through. Yeah, these heifers are crazy, man.
Somebody said it earlier.
I think
I can't believe it, Jesus. I can't believe it, Jesus. I can't.
I think we don't need to read anything into this thing. I mean, let's just take it for
Right.
face value. If the 17-year-old is not his, she already told him she didn't want no kids, and he accepted that. That's number one. If we're going to read stuff into it, I can't imagine her son, who's 17, how much lack of love he got from her because she didn't want no kids in the first place. And we have to assume that if there was a husband involved with his sister dying, he wouldn't have to take those kids in the first place. So we got to assume she was a baby mama with 3 kids, right? So if I'm assuming anything, that's why he even brought it up. I'd say he got to let her go. It's either he got to let her go, and I don't know how much he's losing, since if that kid is not his, a 17-year-old, he's just losing a relationship with this woman who doesn't agree with, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
You can't force that. You just can't. So it's your family, those kids, your nieces and nephew have your blood running through their veins,
Right.
not her son. So you got to make a decision. And so I don't think it's a tough one. Even for him, it probably would be. I don't know what kind of financial situation they are. But if she says she needs to leave, she's going to leave. I mean, she is. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I think you have to decide whether you're going to lean into it, make it a tough thing or not. Now, I know that if I'm taking 3 kids from my sister who died, I might have some leniency with a divorce judge. I might. And then listen, if you're a halfway decent guy, you'll find another woman. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, let me just land it there.
Yeah, because them kids ain't gonna be there forever.
Well, let's just play the other side of it. Suppose them kids are baby kids, and she knows that already.
Well, I mean, it's still for better or for worse, though, because I mean, it's not like he cheated on this woman and got these kids. His sister passed away, and me being someone who was in the foster care and adoption system, you think like, well, shit, what happened to my family? Where everybody at? Why can they, why can't they chip in? Why can't they help? Why do we have to, be with strangers? So, if you have someone that's saying, I hate being a mom, then yeah, she gonna have to go, because that means you're gonna bring your malice to my children, now his children, but his family, in essence. That's his family. And so, it sucks that she couldn't put her own. This is where the sacrifices come in when you're married, because this is his family and you married him and he's an extension of his family. So if the sister, passes away, they have 3 kids, and he's saying, no, I'm not going to let my family go into the system. I'm not going to have nobody else raise them. They're going to be in my house. If you have someone that is against that, they have to go, because they've already made a decision that they don't want to be there. And why would you, like y'all keep saying, you can't force that. You can't force, the vows. You can't force for better or for worse. And in that situation, it's for better or for worse. And that ain't even the worst that could happen. I mean, it's sad that his sister passed away. She left 3 kids behind, but that's not even the worst that can happen in a relationship. You adding on to a family. You're adding love. You're adding joy. You're adding, memories. But her selfish ass couldn't even see that. She couldn't even look at it that way. I'm sure she couldn't wait till her son became big enough to walk and feed himself breakfast and lunch. That's what she sound like. And she's just with this dude because he probably provides her leisure. She doesn't sound like somebody that wants to be there with a family. She wants her leisure.
Oh, you're right. Payne, answer me this, or fellas who've been married and in long relationships. Is that what's missing? And is that a requirement for a healthy relationship? Order, structure, and cooperation.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Both sides.
I mean, I believe those things go without saying. In order, I'll try to wrap up my answer for the topic at hand and answer your question. I think that when it comes to unions in this modern time, it's the pre-offense, Shawno. Like I was saying, pre-offended for the slightest thing. And like Precious said, with these lives coming in, she hates being a mom. She's pre-offended already. Like she said, making sandwiches for these kids, washing clothes for these kids that I didn't have and didn't want. She's gonna be a pre-offended the whole way through. And that's the difference, Shawno. Everything's a problem with these modern people. Everything's a problem. I gotta take care of this house. I gotta watch my own kids. I gotta teach my own kids. I gotta love my husband. I gotta be loyal to my wife. I gotta pay these bills. Everything's a problem. And that's the difference that I see in the green flags that I present to the young fellas. Notice the ladies it's not a problem to nurture your life. It's not a problem to curate your home. It's not a problem. She's not offended and all uptight because she has to love up on you. And like Precious said, I'm the one person she chose out of all the billions of people in the world to love. And she don't want to do none of the things that come along with me. What if it was one of my elderly, my grandparents? Oh God, I want to take care of no old person. What if it's my cousin with developmental delays? Oh Lord, I don't want to take care of no special need. Like everything, they're pre-offended for everything. They don't want to put in any work. And like JR is saying, I think they believe that it's a rocket ship. It only goes up. It's not a roller coaster. It doesn't have ups and downs. And that's the difference. Relationships, marriage, it's not a rocket ship, people. It's a roller coaster, and nobody is able to get off a roller coaster early. Just sit down and enjoy the ride.
Wow, very well put. On Nitro. Ooh, Lord, I was like, get me off.
Yeah, very well put. Very well put. Thanks.
So we're going to get into the final thoughts because we have come to an end of the road. And I do appreciate all those who have given their perspectives on the panel, who are on the panel, those who are on the panel now. I really do appreciate you guys. But we talked about a host of things today. And so you guys can give your final thoughts on whatever you feel is applicable. And then we'll get out of here. So we'll start with Hank, and then we'll make our way over, up, and then we'll stop at actual King Smith.
Well, my final thoughts is, man, just as fellas, man, just be weary of what you are seeing out here. Be careful what you invest in your time, energy, and money into. Make sure you take some time to vet and not get caught up with the physical aspect of a woman, but more so the mental. Make sure she's got something between her ears that's worth investing in. If she doesn't, yeah, don't waste your time. Leave her at a goddamn restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hank. Again, I appreciate you for being here. JR, how about for you? The final thoughts?
I know I came in a little late. I'm seeing you got men, women, and family based off the discussions. I think Hank is correct as far as don't be afraid to ask questions and ask a lot of questions. There's nothing wrong with it. Typically, if somebody is straying away from answering a question, then it must be a reason. So just dig a little deeper in discussion when you are trying to build relationships, whether you're man or woman. I think if we can get ahead of a lot of these issues and problems, then we won't have broken homes. Unfortunately, if it does happen, then just be willing to make the necessary changes and understand that you're going to have to adapt moving forward, because blended families are not easy and not an easy thing to do and to be a part of. And just understanding as humans, we are all different. So when we come together to build, it's going to take a little bit of sacrifice, a lot of understanding, and a lot of patience. And unfortunately, you can't teach patience, but hopefully some way you can learn to have an understanding of what it means to actually build. Because a lot of folks just, they overcomplicate life, and life is really simple. Life is simple. Life will never be perfect. It will never it will never have the red carpet rolled out its entire time. Now, can you pull it out sometimes? Absolutely, you can. But just understand it's going to roll up, and it's going to be some concrete, going to be some grass and some dirt. So just simplify life. Life is going to be up sometimes, it's going to be down sometimes, but we're just trying to navigate and get through. And just always do the right thing. Always do the right thing. If you got a conscience, listen to your conscience and understand that if you got that gut feeling and it's wrong, then you may not want to do it. So just strive to do the right thing, do right by people, respect people, treat people the way you want to be treated. And even if they're not treating you, just be above the BS. Somebody got to be the bigger person in a lot of these situations. If you match an energy, then you part of the problem. Because everybody can't think the same. So if they're not willing to take in the information and data and be able to understand what's going on in that moment, then if you understand and you see it, then just be the bigger person. Lose the ego and just try to be the best human that you can be while we're here, because life is short. I'm ending on this. Life is short. You never know. If you really think about it, I'm 57, but if you're in your 40s or something like that, if you look at the numbers as far as the average lifespan, it's pretty low. So if you're 40 and then the average is 75, I'm just speaking, I don't have the stats, so don't crucify me. But if a lifespan is 75, you ain't got that much time to get it right. So what we arguing about? What we complaining about? Stay away from negative people too, man. I can't stand people so negative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't know how to think positive. I always tell people to take the positive out of the negative. So even when your mind wants to think negative, see if you can flip it and say, you know what? I'm gonna see if there's something positive that I can pull from this situation. That's how you grow. That's how you grow mentally. That's how you have a change. You got to change your mindset in a lot of these situations. So I just encourage people, man, to read, learn, listen, because that's also a part of communication as well as listening. Just listen. Some people need help. Even some husbands and wives need help, but y'all not listening. Y'all not listening. Y'all may be able to solve a lot of issues within your house without therapy. And I know Hink is an advocate for therapy, but you may be able to solve a lot of your problems yourself. You can only control the controllables. So stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to be on top. Work together, especially when you got something good. And I'm going to land it there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Sean, it is your turn. Your final thoughts, sir?
Yeah, my final thoughts. There was a lot said tonight, and I really appreciate the insight. One of the takeaways that I got was that we said that women aren't really wife material. Somebody mentioned that, but I would say that we need to take the time to vet one another. We need to take the time. Women need to take the time to understand a valuable man, and men need to take the time to understand a valuable woman. Now that can be subjective to the person, but a lot of times we have our priorities in some of the wrong places. If you ask me, we sometimes prioritize what can be done for us as opposed to what we need or what we're able to offer and what we might need to help balance us. I believe I said it before, I've heard it, and I'm gonna echo it. The woman is not the prize. And I'll say this: the man is not the prize. The prize is a successful relationship. And I think that successful relationships is something that is waning right now. And I hope that we could come together and really have it be readdressed and have it be redefined. I personally am a person who is a single man above 50 who's never been married, but I'm a sucker for love nigga too, as Hink might might attest to. But I'm not a sucker love. So I do believe and want romance, want honesty, want genuineness, want there to be relationships, and more importantly, want there to be a family structure that I feel is being depleted every day. And this generation, social media, etc., is not helping it any. But I think we need to help it. These discussions help with that. And I thank you for helping it. And before I leave, Hank, much respect. I'm going to get my colonoscopy on Wednesday. So thank you, sir, for your reiterating it. I'm preparing for it tomorrow, so I guess it'll be a lot of possible bathroom runs, but nonetheless, I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see how it all turns out. I'll let you know next week where we at. All right, y'all fellas.
Health is wealth.
Precious, thanks for having me, fellas. Always a pleasure, and I'll talk with you all again soon.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Mr. He said, your final thoughts, sir?
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Presh. I appreciate you for creating this space for us to come and chop it up. And fellas, I appreciate y'all. Shauno, JR, Hank, King, Mr. Payne. I appreciate y'all, man. I can't stress that enough. I learn a lot when I come here. I share a lot when I come here, and I appreciate y'all for allowing me to do that. Hank, I got a second Shauno's sentiment. I had a checkup last week, dentist last week, and I got a schedule for full colonoscopy, full blood panel workup, everything in about maybe 2 weeks or so. I'm just waiting to hear back from, Mercy Hospital. So shout out to you for pushing that narrative and, being 49 years old, about to turn 50. I definitely take it to heart. And young fellas, stay on top of that. Older fellas, stay on top of it even more. Again, Precious, thank you for having me, and I appreciate y'all, man. Always a pleasure.
Right on, big brother. Right on, right on.
Did you say Mercy Hospital?
Yeah, we in Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore. I thought you, okay, it's the Mercy Hospital in Chicago. All right.
Baltimore.
Oh,
We New
yeah.
Yorkers, but we live in Baltimore. But we New Yorkers though, Brooklyn.
I know.
But we here
and
though.
before
Giving
Payne
back.
goes, I just want anybody who's in the garden to beware of Mr. Payne.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Mr. Payne, R. Payne, your final thoughts, sir?
Yeah, thanks for having me up again. Hank, I've been through a full blood screening in the last urinalysis, blood analysis the last month and a half. Been going to the cardiologist for the full battery of tests, stress tests coming up. My mother passed away of colon cancer, so I've been through a few screenings already, but I'm due for another one. But so yeah, I'm 65. I'm definitely, got to stay on top of that, and I encourage, especially Black men. I mean, we have to be dragged, kicking and screaming into the damn hospital when it's like on the almost deathbed situation. So we need to change that narrative for sure. As far as the topic, it's a great topic tonight. I think Black men, men in general, we need to practice our own little form of hypergamy. I think we need to start to look for women so closer yoked to at least our thinking, even if they don't have all the money and all that kind of stuff. If they do, great. But you need somebody you can relate to, and then you need to go through the whole vetting process. And the other thing is, as soon as the girl you're courting finds herself to call you her partner, you need to correct that shit right then and there, because we ain't partners. If we're gonna get married, you're gonna be my wife. And a guy told me on a previous panel, partner is an action verb and a wife is a noun. I said, that's not what the Bible says. Wife is a big action verb in the Bible. So all I'm just trying to say is, forget about this partnership stuff. You're gonna be my wife, or it ain't gonna happen. Because you're telling me that there's conditions on us being together. And as soon as the partnership gets a little queasy, you're on your way out. I don't want to hear that. So that's just me. I don't like that verbiage. So my wife never, my wife calls me husband. I can't remember the last time she called me by my first name. I swear to God, I can't remember. I try to think about it. I call her wife, but she calls me husband every time she wants me. I kind of like that. Anyway, and I call her wife all the time. So
Oh, Payne said, I
anyway,
like that.
yeah, great panel.
Go ahead,
And,
Payne.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Arpane. I really appreciate it. And the actual King Smith, my co-host, sir, your final thoughts?
For me, lately, I've been talking to young men, guys in high school that I mentor, and one of the common things that I'll hear anytime that they're explaining something, I'll give I'll give something extra to what they're saying, and I'll always hear "but King," and then they'll say something, and then I'm like blah blah blah, but King, and every single time I always wrap it with, man, you're making excuses to justify why you want to do XYZ, why you're trying to do this, or why you want to go out with this person. Why are you putting so much time, effort, and energy into justifying doing something? I always say, if you're confident about what it is that you've got going on with yourself, who you are, you're not going to really need to justify anything. I'm not going to hear a "but King," and those that are confident, that are able to stand on that, observationally, tend to see better results than those that don't. So my takeaway for today's thing is, be confident about who you are and what you want, and be able to stand on it. Get off.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't.
Hey, you just gave me the wrap it up button. Yeah, Ali, I might have been the shortest one talking. That's it. Let me mute myself. Hold on.
I'm so sorry. That was pure accidental. It was not. I was getting my banner right. I'm sorry. That was not.
Negro land that plane.
Reaction to that shit.
No, that was
Negro land that plane.
I said he was rocking earlier. She said, "Oh, wait till we get to the end."
No. No.
I appreciate you for having me on.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Hey,
I
Precious,
believe
just one more thing though, real quick.
Yes.
I lost 90 pounds in the last 12 months.
Bravo.
Nice. Congratulations.
Wow,
Got a
congratulations.
long way to go.
Congrats, Payne.
Been working at it.
All pain.
Good stuff, big brother. Good
Congratulations.
stuff.
And keep working hard on that weight loss journey. Do you have a specific goal you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get down to fat.
You go.
Yeah, if I can get to fat, man, I'm doing good, man. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to get down to being fat.
Yeah, our pain trying to get high school skinny. I see what's going on here.
Right. Well, guys, I really do appreciate you. I appreciate the chat. You guys were phenomenal this evening. I appreciate the super chats, as well as the cash apps that I got. Stanley, thank you so much for sending your cash app just now. I just got it. So I appreciate you. You guys know what I say at the end of each and every show. Again, I appreciate everyone who was here. Ricky, Trey. I think this was Trey's first time coming up. Ricky's been here before, definitely. But I appreciate you guys just, spending your time, because you don't have to be here, and just giving insight and your perspectives, and as well as seeds and gems for the younger generation. Hank, every show he talks about men's health, and now this show you have so many men saying, "Hey, look, Hank, because you say this, I've gotten these tests, or I'm going to get this, or I'm going to get that." And health has become something that's priority, and those things are important. So I always say, don't get weary in doing the right thing, right? So you can say that all the time, and somebody might get sick of you for saying that every single show, but I don't, because you never know who's watching, and you never know who you're going to be able to, flip that switch for, and that one time that you do say those things and give that information. So I appreciate all the value that you guys bring to my show. I really do. And you guys definitely keep it real with yourself, so y'all definitely can keep it real with others. And so that's what I always say as I end the show. Keep it real with yourself so you can keep it real with others. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.